So I don't think I'll ever forget the first time I made $1,000. Um, Partly because it was a really big moment for my business. And it also was a really tough time in my personal life. It was getting close to midnight. And I remember that it was like 11:40 something. And I was thinking to myself, the last time I checked, it was like 880 something. And I was like, it took all day just to get there. I don't know if I'll hit $1,000 today. I logged in and I saw that it was at like 1,011. Just a little bit over, just a little bit. I just barely made it. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, like I made $1,000 in a day and I did it passively without actually having to go to work or get a check. And this was something I did myself. One, it was this intense moment of celebration. I knew I'd accomplished something in my business that other people strive to do and something that's important to them. I wanted to, call someone. And typically at midnight when you're home by yourself, usually your husband's the one who's there or your family. And I was by myself. The reason I was by myself was because I'd just gotten back from Jamaica. It was a vacation that I finally wanted to take with my husband, and we'd saved up the money to do it. So we decided to go scuba diving. And it was the first time. And I was totally like not one of those, I'm not an outdoorsy-ish type person. And I was kind of freaked out about it. My husband was gung-ho, right? Like he was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. So we went and it was amazing. I mean, it was beautiful. It was like one of those transformative moments where you're just kind of very aware of how small you are in the world as you're looking at like all of God's creations and all these beautiful things. And in that same time, my husband actually cut himself while he was there on a reef, and he got hurt. And basically, what started off as a small injury on vacation turned into, a really bad infection. And by the time we got home, my husband was in the hospital for weeks. And it was really, really, it was the scariest time of my life, because I don't think that in your 30s you ever think to yourself, you're going to lose your spouse. All I could think of was, my husband's going to get through. I knew that. I knew he was going to be fine. I was determined that he was going to be okay. But I also knew that coming out of that, we just spent a ton of money on vacation. And one thing that I knew wouldn't help him recover quickly was a bunch of medical bills. It was kind of then that things clicked for me, that I was doing things all wrong, that I needed other streams of income, that I needed to have a backup plan, a strategy, a formula, something, because not only was I losing money by not going to work, I was accruing debt because my husband was sick at the same time. And none of those things was my fault. I had all these blogger friends who were asking about my Amazon store. It's just like an affiliate program. It's something anybody can do. And it was something that I did to like monetize my blog a long time ago. And I'd finally gotten the hang of it. I'd really started applying things. And in Jamaica, it actually made me like a good bit of money, a couple $100s. And I was like, wow, like, I wonder if there's a way that I could really leverage this. And I knew that people were asking me how I did it. So I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to film like a webinar. I got on Periscope and I actually did the webinar. I did it live in front of all these people. I just went ahead and I just told all my friends on Facebook. I said, hey guys, I'm going to get on Periscope. It's a thing I know how to use. And I'm going to just show you what I did on Amazon, right? So I did it. And it was huge. And lots of people came and lots of people were like, this is great. And you did such a great job teaching it. And I can't wait to implement this. And it felt amazing. People were saying to me, I'll pay you for it. Like, I'll pay you for a copy of it. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I could make this a thing. I just need to find the right systems, the right tool, the right software to get it to people. So that was when I stumbled upon, an online system that just let me upload it, and then it automatically downloaded it to people and did all the payment processing. And so that was the ticket. And I mean, the first day I didn't make $1,000, but I felt like I did. So when that first $13 rolled in and then $50 and $20, like I started realizing I could set some goals around this. And if I really tried to build this and I really set up the process, that this could be a thing, that this could actually be a business. one of the moments where it really started clicking, it was well before $1,000, was when I went to go visit my husband, and I went there and I'm like telling him about it, and he's, in and out, and he just wasn't really excited about it because he just wasn't well, but he was kind of like, okay, that's great. I went in and I think I'd made like $100 that day, and I came back out and I'd made like $300. And I remember thinking to myself, I was exactly where I was supposed to be, which was next to my husband, making sure he was okay, making sure that he was getting better, caring for him. And instead of me losing money, instead of me worrying about accruing bills, I was making money. Pretty soon after, I kept watching the account, and I just started setting goals for myself. Like, if I promote it, if I tell people about this, if I reach out to other bloggers who may not know this, about this sort of Amazon thing, then I'll start seeing better results. And I remember thinking to myself that my goal was, if I can make $1,000 a day, that means I can do it again. I think our bills, the amount was like $5,000 was the number that we were expecting after his hospital stay. And he was going to be discharged in a week, and I said to myself, I have got to hit $1,000 a day. I've got to. I guess I figured if I could just make $1,000 a day, that means that in those next 5-7 days until he came home, I would have everything to pay our bills. And this moment in time that was so hurtful, maybe it would just kind of go away, because at least the one lasting effect of medical bills that can typically, just ruin you, wouldn't have to be there. That night, I was going to bed a little late, and I looked and I saw that I'd hit $1,000, a little over even. And I remember just feeling really glad to know that like I did it. I had an accomplishment. My husband wasn't there, but I knew that it meant something more. So that's it. That's how I made my first $1,000.